of the NFL players. The OG USFL owners and stuff like that have sued the new G USFL because of trademark copyrights. It's like, well, you didn't get the permissions to use the old USFL logos, the team names, the logos. Where was this? Like, where was this? Why would you break this out after, like, you less than a month away of going live, and you're gonna go ahead and break this out? So anyway, they're gonna be heard by a judge before the end of the month, and if it's successful, they're talking about an injunction on stopping the league before they even get started. So, I mean, is it really worth for a spring league to go ahead and get all of it? First off, number one, didn't they go bankrupt or something? They lost to they beat the NFL in a lawsuit, but won $1 against the NFL. What do you think they're gonna do? $2 on this one? I mean, I think this is just a lot of OGs, man. They're all salty and wounded because, oh snap, that they may actually have something going on here. I mean, I'm not sure if you've heard this news, Coach. I'm seeing the face. It's like, huh? What? What's going on here? The USFL's in trouble?
No, man. I read it, man. And I was like, are we serious right now? Like,
it's for a basketball player.
They've been having these names for the longest. Like, they had coaches picked in October, November. So it's kind of like, come on, man.
These names have been thrown out there. They've gotten there. I mean, if there is any litigation, it should have came out like, I'm not saying that there's a statute of limitations. I'm sure they probably got together with their lawyers and had several buffets. And you know how these people are, these OG USFL, they're in their 70s and 80s. They don't move around so fast. So maybe it takes them 3 months to go ahead and get a lawsuit filed and seen by a judge. I don't know. But I mean, it just seems like this is a paternity suit, somebody trying to get some money.
I thought who owned the old ones and who owns the new one?
I don't know.
You said
Fox Sports owns the new one.
Yes, but I'm saying, so I'm confused.
I think the USFL went in as a franchise type deal where each team was owned separately. Like Donald Trump owned the New Jersey Generals, and so it was separately owned. Now, who led the whole thing?
So basically, what you're saying is the USFL is owned by Fox Sports, but the names of the teams is owned by
Fox Sports is this league is a single entity. Fox owns all the teams. There's no owners in there.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'm talking about the old one. So the old one owns the name. And the logo?
I'm trying to figure it out here. USFL is a football league, 1985, deceased operations, blah blah blah. The ideas were by a guy named David Dixon. There's a lot of reading going on here. It doesn't give it clarity on who owned it or who ran it and stuff like that. I'm sure this whole thing was owned and operated by, and I think those are the people that are like, hey, what's going on?
Well, I'm gonna say this: USFL, it was fun when we had you. You had everybody's hopes. It's kind of excited for the first 2 weeks, and let's go XFL. Let's go 2023.
That's what I'm saying. 2023. Oh yeah, 2023. You're right. Yeah, XFL. XFL is got the backing of the NFL.
Yeah,
they're going to be the Euro League. They're going to be the new Euro League and doing stuff like that. So USFL may not even get their feet off the ground. I mean, they got the draft and everything. They got people signed, but they don't have their feet off the ground.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens on this one here. We just wanted to go ahead and stumble that out and get to it because, listen, between now and the NFL camp starting in July and preseason in August, this was kind of going to be what we were going to be talking about, but we may go full NFL on this one. Full NFL, and we have the XFL dreams, if you know what I'm saying. So got that going on. A lot of things going on, and I'm just going to rattle them off. Amari Cooper may be traded, and if he's not going to be traded, he's going to be released. That's according to the Cowboys.
He's going to get cut. No one's going to take that contract.
Cole Beasley has been granted trade talks by the Bills, so he can go out there and negotiate a trade. Chandler Jones from the Arizona Cardinals, he is not getting tagged and apparently not getting a new deal either, so he could be on the block. We already know the J.C. Jackson trade. Look my old school Patriot uniform I got going on here. Teddy Bruschi. Boy, this is my late birthday gift on this one. But J.C. Jackson not getting tagged either. No talks. Feels very undervalued. He does not feel the love. Aaron Rodgers, he's still not sure what's going on, but there's reports that just came through that, he's probably going to stick with the Packers for a short-term deal, which will make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. But what does that do to the rest of the team? The rest of the team plays for peanuts. Von Miller and OBJ, Rams looking to get back together, run it back in 2022. Tyreek Hill is looking for an extension. Tyreek's going to demand some money. Do they have it? Saquon, there's some trade rumors going on there, even though they've been debunked a little bit. And Jimmy G with shoulder surgery, not going to be able to throw for 16 weeks. How does that affect his trade? Let's start off with Aaron Rodgers, since Anthony Price in the house says, do you think Rodgers is being an ass to the Packers? Is other players waiting to get their money, but they can't because of Rodgers? I'm going to go ahead and I'll take this down. I'll throw it to you, Coach. Absolutely. He's being an ass, taking the money. He's taking the money. Money. Doesn't want to play anymore. He just wants the money. And yes, it's going to be an ass because there's nobody else going to be able to get paid. So who's he going to throw to? He's going to throw to the towel boy.
No, he's going to throw to Devontae Adams. So they're going to franchise tag him.
Get Bobby Boucher out there. He's going to go ahead and throw to him. So go ahead, Coach. I mean, what do you see in this whole situation?
But remember, that's what we talked about last week. I said a lot of people is going to take the money before the chance of winning the Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't, and that's the thing what you have to realize. Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about winning the Super Bowl. He cares about how fat his bank account is.
Yeah.
So in fact, he said he wants to be the highest paid player. Like, he came out and said that. And guess what? The Packers are going to do that for him because they need him, because the window's closing. He's a good quarterback. I'm not going to put him in the great category. He's a great regular season quarterback, and he's a good average quarterback in the playoffs.
But is he deserving of being the highest paid in the NFL?
No.
Ooh, there's some doubt there.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because when you say highest paid, there's only two guys, and one of them retired. Because let's just be honest, when you talk about quarterbacks is the most important position. That's
yes.
Quarterback's the most important position. But there's only two guys you could say over the last 4 or 5 years that has made it at least to the Super Bowl or the AFC NFC Championship. There's only two. That's Pat Mahomes and that's Tom Brady. Everybody else, because when you're the highest paid, that means that's called guarantees. Like, we know for sure, we guarantee we're going to make the Super Bowl. Like, that's without a doubt.
I mean, it's not always guaranteed. I mean, Pat Mahomes has become the highest paid, and okay, he got his ring, but he hasn't always been able to go ahead and grab that ring.
But Charles, let's go back and look.
I'm going.
You lost to the AFC Championship to who? 4 years ago? Tom Brady.
Uh-huh.
You went to the Super Bowl the following year and won it.
Yep.
Went to the Super Bowl the next year and you lost.
By who?
Lost Tom Brady.
By Tom Brady.
Yep. Then you went to the
AFC. There seems to be.
No, listen. I know. Listen. And you went to the AFC Championship. You lost in overtime. I mean, but you see how the guarantees is? Because you know for sure at Mahomes, regardless of the situation, no matter how at the beginning of the season, how the season went, you knew you were going to at least make it to the AFC Championship, and you lost in overtime. Like, you're overtime. So I just truly, I mean, and that's the thing about it. And then you, like you said earlier, you said, you see how the coincidence is? It was Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the only two, in my opinion, that should be the highest paid, just for the fact matter because of what they've done in the playoffs. You hear me say it all the time. Regular season is good, but once you hit the playoffs, that's where you get that superstar Hall of Fame and that next level of respect.
So here begs the question: where do we put Joe Burrow, as he was the one to bring his Bengals to a Super Bowl? Didn't win it, but he did bring his Bengals to the Super Bowl, beating the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Where does Joe Burrow fit in this?
He fits in. You got to run it back.
Okay, because he's got a couple more years in his rookie deal, right?
Yes, he's still because he got to run it back. But again, even when we talk about Cincy, we're gonna go back to the Packers. Anthony, we're gonna go back to Rodgers.
Yeah.
When you talk about Cincy, they got a small window because you got to play Burrow, you got to pay Chase. Like there's a lot of guys you got to pay.
Back too.
Yeah, even not even talking about this year, the safety, like the defensive players that you signed the 1-year deals to.
Yeah.
So you got to run it back because that goes back to the same conversation of, you could say, the Browns, you could say the Bills that was supposed to do something this year, and Bills lost our second round to Pat Mahomes, and then the Browns was nowhere to be found. But
yeah, we don't talk about the Browns. We're staying away from the Browns.
Again, Charles, I told you, we talked about it. We argued a little bit this week. I said, people going to take the money over the chance for the Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
They don't care. Look, because at the end of the day, they know for a fact the Super Bowl is still a 50% chance at best. But 100% your bank account is getting fat. So he wants the money. He doesn't care about winning, man. Someone to care about winning, that means you sacrifice and you care more about your legacy. He doesn't care about Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about his legacy because he knows for a fact you can trade me, you can cut me, you can release me. Somebody else is gonna pay me.
Mm-hmm. See, and Aaron Rodgers' legacy has already been made. It's the State Farm legacy. That discount double check. He's got that. Yep. He always touts that belt, but he doesn't want the belt. He wants the belt. So because he's getting fat, he needs to make sure that he holds that gut in so he can put his wallet in. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll anyway, bad joke. But anyway, yeah. So back to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers definitely going for the money. He wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Green Bay seems like they're taking what he's selling and they're going to make him. So what does that go with the rest of the team? You said Devontae Adams is going to come back on a franchise deal.
Yes.
So, but it can't be just Rodgers to Adams all day long. They have to have a supporting cast, don't you think?
I think other receivers are good, and they're going to they're probably in the free agent. They're not in free agent, but they're probably what they're going to do. Even with Aaron Rodgers' contract, they can probably still set it up to where they can have some money. But I truly, truly believe they can move the money around to keep these guys. Just here's a perfect example. We take the Saints. Saints is like 80 million over the cap, but no one has not once said anything about the Saints having issues money wise. Like they said, they're probably gonna try to re-sign Winston and do this and do that. Like you can find ways, man, to just figure it out and maneuver it and say, hey, look, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you, say, if you're on team Charles, we're gonna restructure your contract to where you get this much money now.
So we'll give you $1 million and 15 million can be in incentives.
Yeah.
Like if you could smell at the end of 16 games, you get another 10 million. If you can go ahead and walk after 5 games, just some BS like that where they make it on the back end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like when you talk about the salary cap.
So what if Rodgers? Now, do you think Aaron would be this cool with it? Say, okay, Aaron, we're going to give you, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. Go and shake your head up and down or side to side if you agree or disagree. And we're going to give you a 2-year deal. And that 2-year deal is going to be worth $100 million. But here's the catch. You're only going to get guaranteed $1 million for those 2 years. The other $98 million that you're going to get is if, say you throw for 100 yards a game. Well, that's another $10 million. Say you throw for 200 yards a game. That's what I'm saying. Those incentive, the way he's going to get them. He's going to throw for that amount of yards. He's going to perform at this amount. It's easy to do. Would he take that or something like that? Or
he would take anything that makes him the highest paid quarterback.
But in sense, but would that list, because I know the contract, how it reads, that's what you could say he's the highest paid quarterback. But does guaranteeing him $2 million for 2 years and $98 million on the back end, does that still make him the highest paid quarterback? Because doesn't he have to perform it?
To a degree.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it to where it's cap friendly, but he gets his. Because also that's one of those things that you gotta go to Aaron Rodgers and you gotta say, hey, you said this after you lost.
Yep.
You don't want to be back for a rebuilding season. Now you can't say you want to rebuild the season, but you want 30% of the salary cap.
Damien says Rodgers all he cares about is winning the conference and stats. No, we're debunking that. He doesn't care about that. He cares about money.
Yeah, Damien, one thing about it is I mean, it's just the NFC East, not East, this NFC North.
Yeah, North
is not good. Of course, so he doesn't care. He knows I could clown in front of.
You could probably take a 10-7 record and win that division.
Yeah, he's not worried about that, and he knows his stats. He just wants one thing: it's the money. Because regardless of the situation, and you've seen it when they lost to the Dolphins. He's like, okay, yeah, all right, okay, cool. So,
what are you doing here? Mike, you need to get your ass online. Let's go. Get your ass in here. What the hell is he doing? He really must have quit and just not give notice. He must have been Chavo Guerrero and AEW let him go, and Chavo comes in one. Hey, where am I at, coach? You're not with the company anymore. Take your ass home. Anyway, so you got it, boss. That's right. So yeah, Rodgers, like, he apparently he's just looking to pad his check. He wants the world to know he's the man, he's the quarterback, and whether he makes the playoffs or not, I don't think he gives a shit.
No, because regardless of the situation, the world puts him top 2 quarterback in the game.
So
and everybody will take him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, believe me, people are lining up. Broncos were lining up, ready to go ahead and pay him, but apparently, I guess last year the Packers blocked that deal. Is it more of the Packers' fear that he's going to go somewhere else and make them eat his words or eat their words, or was there really not that much of a presence for Aaron Rodgers?
No, the price is so steep. Think about it. How much was it for Matthew Stafford?
Oh hell, we're gonna really go with Stafford? Come on, if Rodgers is so much better than Stafford, I'm saying,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Because what the Rams gave up for Stafford, they gave up a quarterback and 2 first-round draft picks and some seconds.
Yeah.
So right then and there, think about it. Regardless of the situation, you Rodgers still is a Super Bowl champion, MVP. 3 or 4 time MVP plus.
I think
3-time MVP plus
and back-to-back.
Yes, and he put the stats up. Come on, man. You know, right?
The top of match made in heaven. We're going to find out. Here's Cooper Cup.
I didn't do that.
Sorry but the thing about it, so you're gonna have to, you got to drop that brink truck back at Rodgers' house and at Green Bay because bring it all. He wants the money. But again, like you said, the Broncos will do it.
Yeah.
The Colts will do it.
Yep.
The Browns will do it. I'm just going off the top of my head of teams. A lot of teams.
I don't know about the Browns. Browns, I don't know if they can do it. Plus, would you really want to go to Cleveland? There's nothing there.
If the money's right, we already talked about this.
That's right.
You give me.
You ain't taking Adams there because he can't be franchised in Cleveland.
If you give me $5 million and you say, "Hey, you going to Cleveland?" All right,
that's you. $5 million. $5 million isn't going to cover Aaron Rodgers' wardrobe.
That's what. Of course not. Of course, it's just different levels.
All right. Well, Aaron Rodgers again. All the signs look like he's staying in Green Bay, which I think we there was the consensus that he was going to anyway. But he's staying in Green Bay, but he wants to be now the highest paid, which confirmed coaches' intuitions already that all he cares about is the dinero. He wants to get paid. So there you go. Aaron Rodgers there, so we're going to cross that off. Let's go to Amari Cooper. Dallas apparently not happy with Amari Cooper, money or performance or whatever. They're looking to trade him, and if he cannot be traded and nobody wants that, he wants to be released. So, Coach, you already mentioned it. As soon as I was reading off everything here in the first couple of minutes of the show, he's going to be released. Where do you see Amari going from here? Do you see him landing with a specific team or a team that needs it? Who do you think he goes to?
Man, there's a lot of teams.
Honestly. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of teams, but again, does he fit a particular system? Does he fit a particular pattern? A coach that may work with him, or a team that has a good quarterback that needs a good receiver? I mean, Kansas City, could they go ahead and take him? Would they be able to go and take him in Buffalo? Would they go ahead and take him in Green Bay? Would they go ahead and take him in LA?
I think one of the questions is more so is how much is it by the Cowboys cutting him? How much does he get? And now by saying that, is he going to do a 1-year trial run and get his stats up? Because if that's the case, you like you said, you could go Kansas City, you can go Baltimore, you can go Pittsburgh, you can kind of go Arizona because they need a quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
You could go New England to a degree because you need a legit one. You need a one-on-one beater, and that's one thing about it is regardless of the situation. Cowboys, I hate it for Dak. Dak needed Amari Cooper. They're gonna drop. Cowboys passing game is gonna drop for the still fact of the matter. He could beat the one-on-one. The other guys couldn't beat the one-on-one. Hence the fact, if you see when Cooper was out, they struggled.
Yeah.
So by you releasing Cooper, you're saying that we're gonna lean on the running game. So we're gonna try to tote the ball kind of like San Francisco, 30 plus times, and we're gonna use play action so we can get everybody else open. But again, when you got somebody like Cooper, the only issue for Cooper is he has the Anthony Davis problem. He's always hurt. He has to stay healthy. If he's healthy, when he's on the field, he's a nightmare because you can't guard him one-on-one. You can't. I don't care what you say. There's not a DB that can guard Cooper one-on-one. So again, it depends on what he's want and what's his needs. Again, if he's going, I'm going for 1 year somewhere, help elevate a team, then get my big money, or am I trying to go get the money now? Because that's the case, you can probably go to Jacksonville. Jacksonville will give you that money.
Oh, yeah. But is he going to go ahead and have the same prestige over there? But again, money talks, right? Mari's only 27 though, so he's maybe he's not to the point of being that bitchy now.
No, but he only has 6. He got 5 more years, 5 maybe 6 more years of football left.
Hey, look who we got here after a 4-week sobriety test. It's Mike coming in here. What's going on, Mike?
I failed the sobriety test all 4 weeks. It was horrible.
It was horrible, man. How were you able to? No, come on. So Amari Cooper, the reason why they're getting rid of him is they want to keep other people, including Gallup, Schultz, Cedric Wilson, Randy Gregory, long term. Apparently, Cooper does not fit in their plans. Mike, do you see this being a problem for Dallas? Which hell, it's always a problem in Dallas, but this may be more of a problem.
Right. I think you hit it on the head. I think it's always going to be a problem in Dallas, no matter which way they go. I mean, you had Amari Cooper and you didn't utilize him in the correct way. And when, you did, he just got banged up. And then coach knows better than anybody being a wide receiver. Those nagging ankle injuries aren't something that's going to go away. I'd rather a guy fully tear his ACL than have 3 years straight of just ankle injuries, because that's just going to show you, at $20 million per year, this isn't something you want on your team. And my biggest problem right now is, and I think we can all agree to it and we can get into it in a little bit if you want, but this went from one of the best wide receiver free agency classes to one of the worst and one of the most boring classes very quickly. You got Odell, you got Gallup and Godwin and all these other guys who blew out their ACLs. You got Antonio Brown, who's doing concerts with Kanye West as a rapper. You got a bunch of, now you got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's banged up. You don't know what's going to happen with Amari Cooper. You got the Calvin Ridley thing. What's going on with him mentally? He's banged up. Allen Robinson. Hate Allen Robinson.
Easy to killer. But listen, and on the Antonio Brown, everybody needs to find their career path, and I think Antonio finally found his. He's able to go ahead and
that's what you want to call it, Charles. I'll call it that. But my biggest thing in saying all of that, I think Amari Cooper kind of changes the narrative now to where it's like, every single guy right now in free agency as a wide receiver outside of Christian Kirk is injured. And Amari is one of the only guys that's relatively healthy. And that's weird to say that, but he is. And like Coach said, when this guy's healthy, to me, he's one of the best route runners in the game. And it's not close. And he has the most intangibles mentally and an understanding of the game to be a top wide receiver. He's just not healthy enough to do it. And either that or Dak's not healthy enough. So I could see him going a lot of places. For all my Chicago guys, it's not happening. It's not. And that's just the reality of the situation. You won't pay Allen Robinson $10 million a year. You think Amari's coming on a discount for no reason? It's not happening. One place I've really been hearing, and it's all gonna come down to what Amari wants. If he does not care about winning right now, I think Jacksonville's somewhere you might want to look at. I think they have the most money to play with out of anybody. And the reality of the situation is Trevor Lawrence still has that question mark of can he be Trevor Lawrence of Clemson? And I think that's something he might want to take a look at. But again, it comes down to do you want to win? Because I was listening to what you guys were saying earlier, and anybody can really win that division, but Jacksonville needs God and all of the leprechauns and St. Patrick's Day's bag of tricks to win that division.
And a couple of rabbit ears from Easter there too as well.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Amari, so with him being banged, I just totally lost my train of thought in regards to that. So Cooper being banged up and everything like that, though, do you feel like he might be kind of a Rob Gronkowski of a receiver? Like Rob just goes all in. He throws caution to the wind. He doesn't care until stuff happened. Then he started to play. It wasn't the same Rob Gronkowski throwing people out of the club. Do you think Amari Cooper's going in all, guns blazing? And then if stuff happens, okay, then we need to back down. Is he still going to be that explosive player?
I think he is. I'll just keep it real brief because I think the way Amari works is very different from Rob. I think Rob is just a freak of nature and an amazing talent. And obviously when you have Tom Brady, you can be that fun guy. You can mess around. You don't have to take things as seriously. If you watch Amari Cooper, even when he's banged up, Coach was actually the one that sent me the video. It was a great video of him teaching CeeDee Lamb how to run routes and why he got beat on that one run and why he's doing this way and why it's going to work in the long run. And that was probably towards the beginning of the season, or it was during Hard Knocks. I forgot exactly when it was. It was Hard Knocks for sure. But yeah, it comes down to it to where I think Amari Cooper is one of the hardest working guys in the gym. I think he's one of the first guys to get there and one of the last guys to leave. I think he studies film. I think he reads playbooks in and out. And I don't think he has to work as hard as everybody else thinks. I just think he just needs to be healthy. And that's really what it comes down to.
Go ahead, Coach.
Sitting there with listening to Mike talking about it and everything, I think the receivers going to get to the point to where it's going to kind of be like the running backs. You're not going to be important. Like you got your few guys like the Devontae Adams that are go-getters. But majority of them now is like you can get them for the cheap, for the simple fact of the matter. Think about it. Take Juju. At one point in time, Juju could have got a lot of money 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
He signed a 1-year deal, and every year the receiver core is, even in the draft, is loaded. This year is loaded. The year before it was loaded. The year before that it was loaded. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like I don't need to spend all this money. It's like why spend $20 million on Amari Cooper when you got Gallup and I forgot the little young kid that came.
CeeDee.
Not CeeDee Lamb.
A third, I forget his name.
I can't think his name right now. The little short one, but he came out of nowhere. Like those are things about it. Is look at Jefferson, look at Jamar Chase. I mean, look at these guys they just got into the league. because it's so now it's at the point where 707 and all that and throwing the football across the field, it's not important anymore because they've been doing this. They've been doing this since 9 years old. Like I said, I got a 9-year-old. We about to go catch footballs for 707 in about 3 hours. So I just really, really believe that he's not going to get the money that he wants unless you go to a Jacksonville, unless you go to a bottom of the barrel team, because they're a dime a dozen. Look at Odell Beckham. He ain't making that money no more.
No.
So with throwing back to Amari real quick. So Amari, of course, started at Oakland and basically been a consistent starter. In Dallas, he played all 16 games in 2019, 2020, and 2021. He missed one game. But last year was his worst year he had ever as a starter. Only 865 yards, 68 catches, 8 touchdowns, which actually is tied for the most, but receptions and yardage kind of fizzled out and kind of tanked. So with Amari, who's only 27 years old, by the way, still got a lot of juice left in the tank, even though he's been, kind of dinged up here and there. Does Amari get the job done for, let's say, Jacksonville? Let's go to Jacksonville. Does Trevor Lawrence go to the next step if Amari's on his team?
Yes.
Mike?
Yeah, I think without a doubt, I think there's no reason to tell me he doesn't. And honestly, it's not going to make it great, but he might elevate a couple of the wide receivers in that room.
How about this? Jets. Does Zach Wilson go ahead and get upgraded with Amari Cooper's presence?
Yes. Because you got here's what you got to realize, Charles. He beats the 101. So like now, if you go back, you take the Rams. Why were the Rams good? Because I got guys that can beat the 101. And now I can it's easy to throw in the zone. Once you know what zone they're running, it's easy because now he's just sitting in a wide open spot.
Right.
You got guys like Amari Cooper, they can eat up all that. They can beat the 101. Plus, you got to keep a safety over top because he can blow by him. And he knows how he runs routes, so he can sit in the zones. That makes it a lot easier. That's why I said the Cowboys is going to deal without having him, because regardless of the situation, if he's on the field, you still have to respect him.
One says bring Amari to Chicago, Damian says, and Mike, you already kind of debunked that.
No,
Anthony says keep it in New England. I don't think
I would like it. I wouldn't be upset about that at all. And honestly, that was one of my biggest things about New England all year. Charles, you and I talked about it. Coach is just hating all the time. But
I know
it's
okay.
But a real number one offensive weapon, and when I say real, I mean like that name brand. Hunter Henry, he ain't doing it for you, and these other guys aren't doing it for you. Mac Jones is really the name brand. So
I kind of like Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry really kicked in and tight end during the second half of the season.
No, for sure, but he's no Amari Cooper.
Go ahead, Coach. What you got?
First off, let's get this straight. I never said anything about Jones. I said Jones is a game manager quarterback. You got to have.
Jones.
Now, the defense, I said the defense was trash. I always thought it was trash. That's another story. But we're not going to get on that. I said here, Matt Jones, I think Amari Cooper will fit well for Matt Jones because Matt Jones needs someone to beat the 101. Because if you look, because we watched the Patriots games. Everybody just played man and loaded up the box and said, okay, we know you want to run the ball. Let's see if you can throw it.
Right.
And no one could beat the 101. No one could.
Which is amazing. The teams that think, hey, listen, we know you want to run the ball, but time after time you see a blitz never getting to Mac, and he's able to complete it accurate, almost 70% throughout the season. It's insane for
when you throw 3 times a game, Charles. It's kind of hard.
3 times a game? What average versus Buffalo in one game? Come on now, come on.
You're right, Charles. You did. You guys in regular season. Playing the Texans, the Jaguars, the Jets twice.
Here we go.
You guys did.
Hold on a second. All right.
But
go ahead.
Here we go.
No. Hey, it's happening. It's happening.
And then you can see
before this pops off, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, I just want to ask, how was your day while we wait on this? Because this is going to be very long. I just want to know how everybody's day was.
No, because you know why? I'm not going to
popcorn. Get the popcorn. I'll just sit back. I'll just live.
Charles, Mike, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. I'm just gonna say we're gonna next year. I'm gonna say, man, dang, the Patriots, they lost out the first round again. But anyway, no, I think honestly, truthfully, you put Cooper on your team when healthy, he elevates the quarterback. You can say again, I think he'd fit perfect with I think someone said it, back to the Raiders.
You think, yeah. And with Gruden gone, the disrespect that was that front office and was John Gruden and trading him in the first place is gone. So, yeah. I mean,
well, yeah, and you know what? That's something that. Why not? If you go ahead and you got Josh McDaniels in there now,
right?
You got a little bit. You got a different atmosphere. Why not Amari Cooper back to the Raiders?
And at that point, I think they're actually willing to pay him that money because of everything that's just been going on. Here's a guy we know can handle Vegas. Here's a guy that we know can handle the Raiders organization and everything that comes with that. And it's like at the end of the day, with after Ruggs and after everything else that kind of went down, Amari would probably be the best thing for Derek Carr right now.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of places.
But Coach, I want to ask you really quick, Coach. If you get Amari Cooper on a multiple-year deal, that closes the door on Devontae Adams and Derek Carr ever going together. Would you do that for Amari Cooper?
Yeah, because you don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, regardless of the situation, if you give Amari a 2 or 3 year deal, that's cool because Devontae Adams gonna get franchise tag at least twice.
At least twice.
Because whatever happens to Rodgers, if Rodgers leaves, they're gonna bring the dump truck, right? The big truck for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's gonna be holding the stick.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't. Why waste 3 years of Carr when you can get Amari Cooper? And again, like you said this, you said the receiver core is down. I actually think it's the opposite.
Really?
It's because regardless, ACLs and all that, man, that stuff is of the past. Right. These doctors are phenomenal. So you can kind of get these guys kind of for the cheap. And then you still got Mike Williams, you still got Christian Kirk that's out there. Like you got a lot of guys that can give you what you need.
Oh, right. I meant it more so is the conversation of like when I look at Coach's division, when I look at Charles's division, when I look at every division except my own, I look at it as, okay, you need a win now mode. You need guys who are going to be ready by week 1. And the majority of these wide receivers, other than Amari Cooper, aren't going to be ready by week 1 or probably even week 8 because all these guys tore their ACLs in the back end of the season. And that especially Odell took 12 months to come back last time. It's the same ACL. It's the same leg. I would want them to think that they're going to take their sweet time on that one. Even Woods is Robert Woods is a conversation of when is he going to come back. It's really bad right now when it comes to like the longevity of the wide receivers in this season specifically.
But
it's nuts.
But again, it's not a. I mean, it's a boatload of receivers.
Oh yeah, it was a great load.
That's not the issue. I just think when you look at these guys, I mean, regardless of the situation, Odell Beckham, when on the field, he's a difference maker. Right. He hasn't showed the consistency of being on the field. Amari Cooper, he elevates the whole receiving core because, like I said, he knows how to work. He has good routes. That's that mentorship that you need. Sometimes you need guys that got to understand you need leaders like that because it's not always what you do on the field. It's what you do in practice because you teach and show them how to do things and to follow them. And
Amari's still young enough to go ahead and get all those fist bumps from the younger players to go ahead and get him under his wing and say, hey, listen, this is what you need to do. Watch me. And he's still young enough to do it. We're going to close Amari Cooper on there. Again, Dallas looking to trade him. If not being a trade, if they're looking to release him. Another person looking for a trade is Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, on the other hand, is a little bit 32 years old for Buffalo, does not want to stay in Buffalo apparently. Beasley, kind of one of those Julian Edelman type route runners. Guys, take on Cole Beasley. Does he find a way out of there at 32 years old? And does he find his way on there to a more prominent situation?
He might as well go to New England. That's the only one that likes little short white guys. It's our receiver.
Well, those little short white guys, they do pretty good, don't they?
Oh, I'm not knocking it. Good. Because I'm about to say you can't go to the Raiders because Hunter Renfro's over there. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so it's like
what's to say about you having two of them? You know, you
No.
got Hunter and Beasley. I mean,
You don't
that's
need-
Look at Tom Brady's map. You either have Julian Edelman or Scotty Miller. There's no in between.
yeah. All right, I got you. Beasley, you Mike, what do you think? You know, I know Coach is kind of kidding around with New England.
Yeah,
I don't think Buffalo would ever trade him to New England. Let's put it that way.
No, for sure.
But there's somebody else out there that you see that could use Cole at his age and his skills now.
I hate Cole right now. I think he's the biggest distraction you can have, you know, and I'm not trying to sit here and turn this into a political debate, but the vaccination status with Cole Beasley is not easy just because every single time he walks into a facility, he just cries and moans about, oh, I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired.
Well, let's take a look. That was the thing in the past. NFL and NFLPA now have suspended all COVID protocols.
Oh,
so
without a doubt.
everything's back to normal. So with that now dead, does Cole still be a distraction?
Right. I think, you know, he even still was kind of being a distraction to that point to where he was always just talking about it. I feel like it just lives in this guy's head rent free. And I feel like, you know, the production isn't where it was. And we saw that towards the season. And I think that, you know, Cole is just going to that point to where, yeah, you had 1,000-yard season a year ago, and that's cool. But it's not going to be consistent like that. It's not going to be what we want it to be. And especially at that price. I think it's something to definitely look at, though. It's definitely a conversation to be had. But if you're looking for him to be your number one, number two wide receiver, I personally wouldn't make the move for him.
No, I wouldn't think he'd be number one, but 967 last year.
Right.
Not this past year, the year before. So he's never had 1,000 yards, but 967, 82 receptions the year before was his career best.
Right. And I'll give it to him. I know it's not 1,000-yard season, coach, but, you know, 967 and a couple playoff games, I'll give it to him. I'll tell him he had 1,000-yard season, but it comes down to it, though, to me, to where it's like with Cole on where he'd want to go. I think it's honestly a conversation to have with Cole to what you want. Do you want to win a championship right now? Do you want to just get one last payday? What are you looking for? How can we help you and help us help you, kind of thing?
I wouldn't be surprised if actually Cole landed in Tennessee, to be honest with you. Tennessee, I think would be a nice spot for him. I mean, you stack up the old timers over there, so let's push Cole there. He'd be a younger receiver compared to what they got.
No,
I think AJ
no one. The thing is, no one's finna trade for him. Like I can get Coach. No disrespect to Coach Beasley. I can get Coach Beasley. I can get him out the draft.
Yeah,
you can get him in the fifth round.
Like that's the thing about it. I mean, I think Anthony said the Falcons. Yeah, but you're not going to trade. Why trade a 4th-round draft pick for a guy that's 32 and is on the downfall?
Who says a 4th round? Maybe it could be a 5th round. Maybe the Falcons. Maybe there's a team out there that has multiple 4th rounders that can spare one.
Right. But Charles, here's the question, and you kind of alluded to it. If it's a 7th round, 6th round pick, why even trade them?
Well, that's the question.
At that point, who cares? And for me, and Coach and I talk about it all the time. You know, Allen Robinson gets paid $18 million per year, and obviously there was a lot that went on with that. Darnell Mooney came out of the 6th round, had a 10. He led him in receptions, he led him in touchdowns, he led him in yards. I mean, that's out of the 5th round, and we're paying a guy $18 million. That's why I think Coach is right to the point to where this is going to become like the running back position to where you could find guys late in rounds that are just steals.
Yeah. So if Beasley doesn't get a trade, does he stay in Buffalo or does he ask for his release?
I think it's a great question. I think Beasley's the type of guy, and this isn't a knock on him. I think it's a positive thing, but in this business, it's viewed very badly for the fans. But he sticks to his mind and he believes in what he believes in, and I think he'll make it ugly if he has to make it ugly.
Okay.
Then I don't even know how.
But Buffalo is being nice and say, "All right, Cole, you want to go trade? Go find your trade and let us know." I think Buffalo knows they ain't gonna find crap.
Would you be nervous, Coach, as a former wide receiver? Now, when you walk into the room and you go, "I want to trade, I want out," and you think you're about to shock the GM, and the GM goes, "Okay, go find somebody." Would you be nervous about your value and about like your role on a team because this guy didn't give a single shit that you just asked for a trade? Now, if Stephon Diggs walked in and said, I want to trade, everybody's running around the halls naked, throwing papers in the air, freaking out. This guy was like, you know what? I'll do you one better. You tell me the team you want to go to.
I'll make
sign
the call.
paper. Yeah.
I think that's one of those things. Like his agent was like, "Hey, there's some people out here that might want you." I just don't see. Not Colt Beasley. You're talking about trading a draft pick because you can actually get somebody. Because it goes back to this. Okay, you're a slot receiver. You can find a slot receiver that's probably faster, that probably has the same equal amount of hands. Because regardless, and then you got to look at this, Charles. You still got Stephon Diggs on the outside.
Emmanuel Sanders, you got a lot going on.
You still have that tight end. I can't think.
It just sounds like that wide receiver room was getting a little bit too tight for little Cole.
I think it was
5'8" Cole. He's getting a little too tight there.
It was for me too. My bad, Coach. For me though, it was Knox. Knox is what did it for me. And Coach and I have had the conversation. This kid isn't a top 10 tight end, but he's great at what he does when he's healthy. Yeah. And I think it ended up going Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, and company. And now it's kind of Stephon Diggs, Knox, Emmanuel Sanders, and Cole Beasley. And they even have that one rookie. His name's escaping me, but the kid was a stud. And Cole Beasley's kind of sitting there like, yo, I went from the number 2 last year with 82 receptions to not getting my touches.
McKenzie.
Right. For McKenzie, he's doing amazing things, man. Like this kid's a bullet. Like Coach said, they got him in the later round. This kid's fast, man. And Cole Beasley,
him and Tyreek Hill, I'd like to see go one-on-one in the 40-yard dash.
So I think Cole's kind of sitting here like, how did I go from 2 or 1B to 5, in a span of a season? And then with the COVID stuff and how the Bills operated with that, I think he's just kind of over it.
Ooh, wait a second. I don't see McKenzie on their current roster.
I think he might be a free agent.
Hold on. Maybe.
I guess it was.
Yeah, Isaiah McKenzie, an unrestricted free agent right now.
I guess it depended what round he went.
Keep this in your head. 4.42 in the 40. Hold on. I'm going to type.
Gosh, nobody cares about the 40 times. So overrated.
It is.
It is. I'm not saying it's not overrated. Leave me alone. Let me have my fantasy.
You say this 40 times, man.
Let me have my fantasy here, okay? Leave me alone.
Kevin White on the Bears ran a 4.1 and caught 3 footballs in 4 years. I'm good on the 40.
Oh, okay. Tyreek. All right. Isaiah 4.42. Tyreek had a 4.29. Okay. Tyreek's faster. Not by much, but faster.
Just a little bit. You saw Chris Olave, Coach? 4.26. I know it's overrated, but I love watching it. As someone who used to do track, I love watching it.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this. I try to get ready for the next time. When you look at the 40 times, like nowadays, like they have people that train you for your step and your form. Like it's not hard. If you give anybody 6 months to train for 40, you can drop the 40 times. I could drop your 40 times 2/10 of a second, because it's all it is it's your stance, it's your start. It's your first step. Now it's your hand movement. It's your posture of your body.
But don't you think you're training for that anyway before the combine?
That's what I'm saying. You do that for like 6 months. You do it for 6 months.
So are you trying to tell me that Tyreek Hill could have had a 4.6 before the combine?
Who, Tyreek Hill? No, Tyreek Hill is just fast. He's a sprinter though. He's a track runner.
But still, listen, this guy knows how to freaking shift everywhere. I mean, he did great in the cones. So he knows how to do shit.
When you say this, if you run a 4.6 or a 4.5, they can drop you down to a 4.2, 4.3 like that. That's the thing about it. Now, when we go back and you look at it, even at receiver, people always say, "Oh, well, Chris Olave ran a 4.2."
Right.
Who's Super Bowl MVP?
Cooper Kupp.
Yes. Guess what his 40 time was?
4.8.
4.6.
Yeah.
It's
all about getting open, but
Devontae Adams is the best receiver in the game, correct?
Right.
Guess what his 40 time was?
Shit.
4.59.
Nah, that's a 4.6. Don't tell me it's not.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna get because you know how we are when you run it and they say Oh, it's a 4.59, but it's a 4.6.
Oh yeah, I ran a 4.5. Nah, bro. You ran a 4.6. Come on.
But
4.56 was Adams.
That's what was, and then you take DeAndre Hopkins. He's one of the best when healthy. 4.5. Like these guys, like the best receivers in the game are running 4.5s, 4.6s.
I'll tell you, my guy Calvin Johnson back in the day.
But you talking about a 6'4". You talking about a 6'4", jump out the gym.
I'm talking about the greatest wide receiver ever if he was healthy.
All right, Charles, back to the thing. We're not gonna get in that. I'm not getting in that one.
Yeah, let's move on. Mike, question: Bears only having 5 picks. Do they do a receiver in the draft or take a free agent like Cordell Patterson?
We already had Cordell Patterson. First of all, Damian, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah,
I don't think what we saw out of him. I think Atlanta is just a crapshoot, so we're not going to see that consistently. But what I would rather do is get that offensive line going. We have a top 10 salary cap right now, and to keep it brief because I know no one in the world cares about the Bears. I'd rather spend all that money on an offensive line, and in the second round, or even if you can trade up, I'd rather reconnect Justin Fields and Chris Olave and out of Ohio State. I think the connection that they had in Ohio State was great. Treylon Burks is out of Arkansas is someone who he runs routes and catches like Deebo Samuel, but he's built like DK Metcalf, and I think he's really special. I think that's someone everyone should be paying attention to. I think Justin Ross is a speedy guy. If you're looking for a speedy guy out of Clemson, I think he's someone too. But I would definitely draft a wide receiver in the first round that you're picking, obviously, whether that you trade up to the first or you're going to stay at 39. But I wouldn't bring in a Chris Godwin because if they're going to miss half the season, that's not going to help Justin whatsoever. And Justin's going to look like shit half the season. And coach is going to tell me on Touchdown Crew every Sunday how Justin Fields looks awful and how he can't read a defense. And because he has nothing out there, right now, he has Darnell Mooney, unless, like Charles said, they want to franchise tag Allen Robinson for a second time. And if you're franchise tagging someone twice, it's just a bad look to me personally. I don't think you should do it.
No faith.
No faith, but here's the problem. So it's the second time, and this is for Devontae Adams, this is for anybody on the board. Charles, I want to ask you and Coach really quick, just because I want your guys' perspective. I haven't gotten to talk to you about it. When you franchise tag someone twice, basically you're paying them roughly $18 to $20 million per year. Now, why not just sign that 3-year deal if you're gonna commit to 2 of them? You know what I mean? That's to me.
There's got to be something in the books in regards to cap hit or something like that.
Right.
There has to be when you franchise tag some, because I've seen I've seen teams that are negative that franchise tag. There's got to be an exception in the financial books.
It just doesn't make sense to me. So you don't want to do 3 years, but you're willing to pay.
But if I do the $3 million
in 2,
and this is what I'm saying, there's got to be an exception somewhere. If I do the 3 years, well, that's all on the books. If I franchise tag, that's like the mob saying, "Hey, I'm going to slide you this money under the table. We're not going to know about it. You just go play."
And that's where it's like, I just don't like it. I think it's a bad look. And if Allen wants to re-sign on a deal that's good for both sides, I'm perfectly fine with it. But I'm not paying, especially like Coach said, in a free agency class like this, I ain't giving you no $25 million a year.
Let Coach, what's your take on that? Like Mike said, franchise tag somebody for 2 years. Why not just pay him the 3-year deal?
It just all depends. It depends on, one, do you really it depends on, you look at the free agent. Okay, what's free agents that's out there? Secondly, let's look at the cap. Who do we need to pay first? So let me franchise tag him. Just you go back, you can take Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay franchise Godwin just because they had to pay everybody else. And then now they're like, hey, now Godwin, we're coming back to you right now. Or you can say, hey, we're gonna franchise you again. By that time, Brady's numbers is off the books. This is off the books. The cap extends. Here, we're going to give you your money. You see, you can do it like, I mean, that's just an example. Are you just trying to see, is he good as what you think? You go back, you take Kirk Cousins. We franchised Kirk Cousins over and over because we're just trying to see, is there something else out there? Or is this the best that we have? Right. Which in their mind, that he was the best that they have.
Now, Coach, the risk of that though being, and not to knock you when you're down, but Charles and I are living our life with our quarterbacks. when you don't sign Godwin to that extension, and now you're looking at Tampa and you're being like, well, we didn't win another championship and Tom Brady's gone. Gronk's probably gone. Does Godwin even want to come now? I think you kind of missed your shot because, what are we going to do?
But that depends on people go with what they're familiar with. I mean, me and Charles, we talked about this last week about how some people go for winning championships, some people go for the money, and then some people go with because they feel comfortable.
Right.
I mean, you got to realize he's been in Tampa all his life. Like, he hasn't been anywhere else. He's cool with Mike Evans. He's cool with the line. He's cool with the OC. Like, they have an understanding. They know how he is. They know what type of person he is. I mean, and on top of that, you're in Florida. No taxes, no state taxes. Mm-hmm. And what's the weather? 70 degrees majority of the time?
Yeah.
87 tonight, or today, excuse me. 87.
But that's what I'm saying. But the low is the 70. So it's kind of like, man, that's beautiful. Only thing you got to worry about is hurricanes. And that's only a season.
Yeah, unless they come from Miami, but they don't really pay much.
So I don't know, Mike. I just don't know. I wasn't in there when the owners talked to him.
Right.
Because they probably could have broke it. Usually you got this type of owners, they break it down. The manager's like, hey, we drafted you. We want you to be a buck for life. But here's where we are financially. We want to give you your money because you deserve it. So we're going to franchise tag you, and we're going to run this back. And then after next year, let's see who's gone and who we going. Which, if you look, Tampa did do a good job of. They got rid of a lot of the defensive guys. They're not going to be there. Like James Dean, they're not going to pay him high money because guess what?
Yeah, you're not bringing all 22 back this year.
No. But
that's not happening.
Well, Charles, there's already one guy on that list that debunks that because he will not be returning ever. But since we're on the Bucs, if you look at it, they set it up. They have two D ends they drafted to take. God dang, what's his name? I can't even think of the name with the firecracker with the fingers. Sue.
No, D end for Tampa. God dang. He used to play for the Giants.
Oh, Pierre Paul.
So you drafted two guys for him. You drafted a linebacker.
It's firecracker in the hand. I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking? Oh, that guy. Yeah, the guy with missing fingers.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Just Pierre Paul.
I forgot he did that.
And then James Dean hasn't been here, so you have DBs that already played up, so they're good. They have the money where they can set up. We can set up to have. Right. We can get a quarterback. We can re-sign our lineman. The only thing hurt was the left guard. He retired.
Well, let's take that and run with it because we got a couple more things before we get out of here, and there's like a half hour, and I got a whole ton of stuff to get through. Who's the quarterback for the Buccaneers? Who do you think is going? Do they go with Trask? Do they go with somebody else? Who?
I'll tell you next week because they're free agents.
Okay.
Because usually what's going to happen is now you got to realize free agents because I think the new year is the 8th.
Is it? If that's the case, then we'll know a lot by next week.
Next week is when everybody's going to get cut. Like Rodgers going to have to tell us what decision he's going to make.
Yep.
No, don't.
Well, no, he's owed some money. I think.
He ain't saying nothing. He's gonna.
Daniel says Blaine Gabbert's going to be the quarterback of the Bucs.
Daniel,
I think old Adams HC for the Bucs. I think he said Trask was they're ready to go with Trask. They said we didn't draft him for nothing.
I think you're going to see a very weird type of situation to where I don't think Jameis is coming back as much as people do. I think it's a possibility, but I don't see it.
I'm seeing the Bucs have another 16-loss season with 1 win this time.
Okay. Nope.
But wait, Coach, really quick. Before that, I think, and this is me being real, I think Mitchell Trubisky gets brought in as a backup and you ride him with Kyle Trask.
You just want to take all your old ex-Bears fans and just bring them in.
I think it's going to be somebody like that, though. I think it's going to be somebody who's just going to be a backup.
Mike, we talked about that last Sunday. He's going to the Giants. He's going to go where he knows for sure he has a chance to fit in because he already knows the offense.
And he doesn't have to move that far.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll just go. Yeah, he'll just move from Buffalo, upstate New York to Jersey.
Anyway, we'll have a.
We'll talk about that. Hey, let's move on. Chandler Jones, 32-year-old defensive end, not getting traded, not getting tagged from the Cardinals. He's in that scenario. 32 years old. 2 years ago, had one of the best seasons in his career. Last season was injured. This season, subpar. Chandler Jones, let's see, 10.5 sacks this past year.
Five in the first game, Charles.
Yeah. And then, he was out for a couple of games, but in 2019, a couple of years ago, 19 sacks in 16 games. Does Chandler still have any juice left in the tank? And if so, do you see him playing outside of the Cardinals this year?
Yeah. I mean, of course. I think he'd come home.
Back to the Patriots.
Yeah. He need what?
I would like to see that. I really like to see
again, like I said, you go back to what you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Like there's not a mystery. So like Bill doesn't have to sell him on anything because he's gonna say, "Hey, when you was here with me, this is what we did." Like,
but here's the weird part: is after 10 years, and usually when New England makes a move like that, your career is done. But there's been a few players, and Chandler's been one of them, where his career actually escalated away from New England. He's had more sacks, more better years with sacks and tackles than he did with New England. He's played 10 years for them with New England, one kind of injured, missed 11 games, but he's played most of his career in Arizona. So when you say go back to what you know, I think he knows Arizona.
But they're not going to pay him.
Right. I think, and this is a little out of pocket for me.
Bring it to Chicago. I know.
No, never. Can't afford that. We got too much money. But I think the Lions are someone that you might want to look at with Dan.
Oh, Lord.
I'm so serious.
This would go back to Coach's theory. If they throw the money at him and throw the money at Lions, then he does not want to win. He just wants to go ahead.
But that's what I mean, though. When you look at what they're doing right now, they have a top 3 pick, and they're going to get one of the best pass rushers out of this draft. You bring that in, whether it be Aiden Hutchinson or somebody else, that boy from Michigan, the kid's a dog. I still don't think he's the best one out of the class, but it comes down to it to where they're building a pretty solid defense. They're just taking time. They're in the beginning stages of it. If you throw him the money on a 3-year deal, kind of solidify that safety net to it to where, hey, this is your money. This is what you're going to get. You have the years. You have everything you want at the age of 32. We'll see what we can do by the end of this thing. And maybe we'll put something together. And, look at Rodgers. Look at that situation in Green Bay falling apart. Look at the Bears. They were never together. Look at the Vikings. They can never finish. I mean, they're making a conversation to where if they bring in a free agent wide receiver or they draft, let's say, a Chris Olave or another top wide receiver, I don't think the Lions are as far off as everyone thinks they are.
Anthony making it cut him and JJ. Damian says Trubisky is trash.
Right.
And Jones to the Ravens, says Anthony. So what about that? To the Ravens goes Chandler Jones.
You can't. Does his brother still play on the Ravens?
I think he's a free agent, coach.
Oh.
Chandler Jones. Let me see. He's still, I think. Oh, yeah, he is an unrestricted. You're right. And that was the other thing, too. We're going to go over our free agents and everything else like that.
No, I just think that they're not going to resign him, and they're going to let him go out there and see what money he can make. And again, like I said earlier, are you going to take the money, or are you trying to win a Super Bowl? Which he already has a Super Bowl, so that's not really the importance anymore. It's more so now. Let me get my cheddar, my dinero.
Let me get my cheddar.
The Lions can give him that. Who they got on the books other than Goff?
And Chandler is right now, according to ProFootballNetwork.com, is the number 1 edge free agent out there. Von Miller, Clowney, Randy Gregory, Harold Landry, Hassan Reddick.
Of course. I mean,
so he's the number 1 out there by far.
I mean, he's a good pass rusher.
Yeah.
So he'll pick up some money. He'll get somewhere. It's just where he wants to go and how much he want to make.
Speaking of other free agents out there, and we'll get to Jesse Bates in just a second, J.C. Jackson. He's out there wanting the money, wanting the cheddar, not feeling the love. Not feeling the love.
Don't do that, coach.
Who is that? Love. Charles, who is J.C. Jackson?
Don't do that, coach.
Who's Jesse Bates, you mean?
No, Jackson.
J.C.
Okay,
Jackson.
you don't. Charles, I'm trying to defend you right now. Don't come at Jesse Bates on me. I'm trying to help you.
He is a former New England Patriot.
Oh, the corner?
He's a former New England Patriot. That's my answer.
How many interceptions he had, Mike? Because I remember you arguing about this.
Like
25 in the past 3 years or something.
8 or 10. So Bill said this right here, exact words. He said on the sideline, he watched that playoff game. God dang, J.C. Jackson, he got bummed.
J.C. Jackson, damn it.
Hey, see, and that's what the dude said. You talking about J.C. Jackson? Well, he gonna be Jesse Jackson because he getting his ass out of here. You pretty much
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
17 interception in the last 2 years. Am I saying he's not going to get burned every now and then?
What did he do in the playoff game?
I'm gonna be real with you though, Coach. I saw Charles. You saw it as well. I saw Jalen Ramsey get burned the very last play of the playoff of the Super Bowl. And if Joe Burrow had a splick of a second left, I think they win that game because Jalen Ramsey got caught slipping.
Come out. Mike, that was 2 weeks ago when we talked about the Super Bowl, and I dogged Jalen Ramsey there. I said
I'm just saying it happens to the best of the best.
Come on. No, he's not the best of the best.
Ooh.
No, don't do that.
Who's the best of the best? Who's the best of the best?
You can't. There's not nowadays. It's necessarily not the best of the best. But I know not. Jalen Ramsey is not a top 5 corner.
You telling me you can't put everybody in a room and look at one of them and be like, he's the best?
Jalen Ramsey?
You two need to get a room and just hash it out, honestly.
Charles, who's the best corner in the league?
Charles, we're not going. Charles, we're not going to do this. You know why we're not going to do this? Here's why I'm not going to do this. Because 1, we already talked about this. 2,
don't be mad at me. I'm on a sabbatical.
2, look, 8 weeks ago, it was that J.C. Jackson was a corner. He got 8 picks. He got this and that. Now he's a freaking free agent. If he was that good, why would he be a free agent?
Because Bill don't pay nobody.
So he's doing that still the same.
They don't want to pay anybody. I was shocked when they brought in Gilmore at the price that they gave him.
Yeah, but he was the defensive player of the year too, though.
But I'm just saying, I am shocked that they brought in. They've let Malloy go. They've let freaking other people go. They didn't want to pay him. I mean, they let Chandler Jones go.
Gilmore's a free agent as well, isn't he?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
Could bring them both back. Charles could bring them both back.
But I'm saying JC's younger and he's got more to go for him than he does. I mean, he's kind of short, but he's younger.
20 interceptions between the two. That's insane.
And they let him go.
No, they're in the
the
process of letting him go.
8 scoring drives in a row.
Hey, Coach, I know someone who would have stopped Stephon Diggs, but that's none of my business. But he's on the Panthers now.
Damian says J.C. Jackson to Dallas. Diggs sucks.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. Those are my free agents there that made news this weekend. Let's go ahead real quick. Von Miller and OBJ. Rams are interested mutually to go ahead and run it back in 2022. Do they keep both of them, Von and OBJ?
Yes.
Do either one of them have an impact, or are you seeing these people just being carried along?
I think playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you put Von Miller on the pitch count, and he's more of a rusher. And in which they kind of did, even with a lot of the people, they rotate their D line constantly. So you just use him for the playoffs because that's what you need him for. You don't need him. You will make the Rams will make the playoffs because everybody else's division is not par. It's like it's one team in each division.
But let's take a look. At Odell Beckham. He re-injured his knee. Does he come back as the same? I mean, does he even come back? Number one
for the playoffs, you don't need him, but you don't need him for the regular season because
sure. You see how they struggled without him in the Super Bowl.
I think what you noticed that though, the big reason why you struggled: 1, Higbee didn't play that game; 2, Woods didn't play that game; and 3, Odell goes down. Once you have Kupp, Higbee, Jefferson, and Woods, you don't need Odell. Odell will be that cherry on the top once you get to the playoffs to where it's like, okay, now we have Odell back. We can do something here. They're honestly going to have a better wide receiver core than Cincinnati, or, you look at other places like Kansas City, you're going to have probably one of the best wide receiver cores in the league.
Because what you got to realize, Charles, regardless of the situation, you have 2 guys that can run routes.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper can run routes. And then even with Odell is quick out his break. So you have to respect him.
He was quick out of his break. Let's see how he does with a a second refurbished knee.
So, like I'm a big believer, man. If you got 3 or 4 receivers, that really opens up everything. Because now when you go 3 receivers with a tight end, you got to make a decision. Because now what do the Rams? They want to run the football, so you can't bring that safety in the box. What happened was, think about it, in the Super Bowl, the first half before Odell got hurt, you was trying to stop the run. Who was eating? Odell Beckham, because he had the one-on-one coverage.
Right.
So eventually, if Odell would have kept playing, now you had to make a decision. Am I going to stop the run, or I'm going to stop this pass that's gashing us?
Right.
That's the beauty of having him, because you don't need him in a regular season. Because like I said earlier, regardless of the situation, everybody else in the NFC, other than the West, is 1, maybe possibly 2 teams deep. You take the NFC East, that's a 1 team. You take the NFC South, that's a 2 team. Maybe 2, maybe 1, just depends on how it goes. The NFC North, that's a 1 team. I mean, everybody else is the West is what. Here's the fact. That's why they had 3 teams in.
You right. My bad.
What about somebody that maybe doesn't have a great receiving core like Kansas City? Tyreek, looking at going ahead and getting an extension. How much do they go ahead and break the bank for Tyreek?
I don't
Or
think
can they?
How many years he got left on his contract?
I think 2.
So he's still working on his rookie, isn't he?
I think so.
So he's like playing. He's playing for peanuts right now.
Nah, I think he has.
It's not peanuts, but it's not what he could be getting paid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So right now, let's see, working on. He's entering his final year of his 3-year, $54 million extension that he signed with the Chiefs back in 2019. So this is his final year of that extension. They're working on a new one. Right now, the $18 million that he currently has is the 6th highest paid. DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, all $20+ million a year. Michael Thomas, $19.25, are all above Hill. DeAndre Hopkins is the top at $27.25 million average annual. How high is Tyreek going? Are we seeing $30 million?
No, Tyreek doesn't do much, and that's no disrespect to Tyreek, but Tyreek runs fast. Other than that, there's not much Tyreek's got going on, and coach can attest to it. I watch this guy. He'll run straight and then just do a bunch of zigzags and shit, and it's not great route running. It's really not. He doesn't have the greatest hands. He is what he is, and that's only gonna last as long as his athleticism allows it to. So it's kind of a risk.
I read a book, Charles, and looked at it was pretty much, it was talking about the Rams offense, and it was talking about Kansas City offense. If you look at the routes that they run, it is pretty much just like Charles said. I mean, like Mike said, it's a freestyle. And if you look at the balls that he catch screens, he catch them dragging across the middle, he catch him going to the middle of the field to a dang smash route to the sideline. It's like those are the routes that he pretty much runs. You don't really see him running hitches or curls.
But this is a guy that you get the ball as soon as you snap the ball, you get him, and he can make people miss, and he can just run away with it.
Right, but that's the conversation though. Is you're entering kind of your older years, and your athleticism is only going to take you so far. You've been banged up. When I sit here and I go, okay, I need 6, 7, 8 hook. I need him to run this route. It's not happening. It's not happening whatsoever. Tyreek's going to look at you and ask you and say, hey, you've never asked me to run that route once my entire career here. Why? I'm going straight. And then Patrick Mahomes is going to be like, what do you mean you're going straight? Run the route. And I'm not running the route. They need someone that runs routes. And I think, to me,
take orders.
Right. I've said it like this. I think Allen Robinson is the perfect fit for Kansas City. I think he runs slants. I think he runs curls. I think he runs routes very well. He doesn't need to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need to be that athletic guy. You got Tyreek Hill. You got Travis Kelce. I think it works.
Mike, I see you didn't watch the show last week.
I didn't.
I just watched the show the past 4 weeks.
That's what me and Charles agreed on last week. Charles, that's how the whole argument over. I said he's not going to go there because he's probably going to go get his money. That's how
they pay him though. I think they pay him.
No.
Well, he's locked in for 1 more year. Let's put it that way, unless he holds out. or they just release
But they
him?
don't. They're talking.
I did miss last week's show though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You missed a few shows.
They're gonna pay him his money.
Listen, Charles, I was doing 10 shows a week. I needed a minute.
You had a minute. You had 20 minutes, actually. You came in 20 minutes late.
I did. 17.
So, all right. Anyway, so according to Spot Track, their market calculations, Hill could seek a new contract averaging $21.4 million, which is still number 3.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you guys agree with that number, or do you think that number should be higher or lower? Or I mean, we can play prices right all we want. But
yeah, I mean, I give him a 21.3 for maybe 3 years, 4 years. I wouldn't give him no more than 4.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, they're still trying to go ahead and take a look at it long term because it was only a 3-year deal last time. So let's see what happens. We'll see what happens going forward. Let's go from Kansas City to Philadelphia. Philadelphia head coach says Jalen is the guy. So kind of maybe squashing any type of rumor that maybe they're looking at another quarterback, but Jalen Hurts apparently is their QB1.
Yeah.
Any is this a mistake by Philadelphia? You think they need to move on from Jalen, or does Jalen have more to prove and think he has it? He has it in the tank.
Go ahead, Mike. I'm gonna let you go.
There's a lot of shit they messed up on way before Jalen, and Ragnar getting taken over Justin Jefferson and a bunch of other cats is the number one consensus of you messed up. Not having a run game within. Let's start it off like this because this is my guy and I know him very well personally. Having to bring back Jordan Howard several different times throughout the last 3 years is proving to me you have no trust in Miles Sanders or anybody else in that room. You have no run game. Your offensive line is very old and very aging. They are not who they were. They're not quick. They're just hogs. They're 350 pounds soaking wet, and they can't move. Jalen Hurts is mobile. Jalen Hurts is trying to get around. I like Jalen. I watched a lot of Jalen in the Sooners in Oklahoma. He's a really cool guy. I just think, then you trade Zach Ertz. Then you're doing all this thing, and Goddard, I believe that's how you say his name, but he steps up. Yeah, Goddard. Pardon me, but it comes down to it to where, can he be that every single year? I don't know. And it comes down to it to where, you don't have a lot of rookies that are here with Jalen that I believe in. You look in the room right now at all these guys on rookie deals. The only one I really believe in is Jalen Hurts. And that's a problem to me because, one, Philadelphia is not the easiest place to attract people unless you're really throwing money at them. But even the way you got Jalen Hurts, You just came off Nick Foles. You told Carson Wentz that you believed in him, and now you're bringing in him. And exactly, then you trade for Gardner Minshew, and who's somewhat a starter, somewhat not a starter. You really don't know how you feel about it. It's really what you like.
He's a porn starter.
Yeah, I love Gardner. Gardner's the shit. I want a Gardner Minshew jersey. I just hate the color green, but Philly green, I should say. But to cap it off, though, I just think this kid has no help. This kid has no help. This kid has no offensive game plan. What they should be doing, in my opinion, is doing a Lamar Jackson type situation where we're going to run the football and we're going to run it with Hurts because these wide receivers aren't doing it. For Alshon Jeffrey, I've heard his name throughout the years, and this isn't just me talking shit as a Bears fan. I haven't physically seen Alshon Jeffrey on the field in years consistently. I see him
Super Bowl 52.
Right. Since then. Yeah, and ever since then, it's like, okay, there he is, week 1. Hey, Alshon. And then the rest of the year, it's like, dude, where's
they were saving him for the playoffs.
Oh.
The problem is the playoffs never came.
Oh, yeah. See, that's my point, though, is like the whole management from top to bottom. It's like, if you truly think right now Alshon Jeffrey is your best wide receiver, you have a problem.
Go ahead, Coach. The hurt business. Come on.
I think that's pretty much what everybody's doing. Like what Philly's done, they realized they made a mistake, who they drafted and who they got. So now they're at the point to where they're trying to just rewrite their wrongs. Like They traded Zach because, hey, we can't afford him. We can't afford him if we go this route.
Can't afford nobody.
So, but also keep in mind,
a situation in New Orleans.
I also just realized that they did make the playoffs, regardless of the situation. How that just tells you how top heavy NFC is. They got your 4 teams, and then that's maybe 4, and that's it. And I'm not talking about the ones that win the division.
Shit.
But the reality of it is, they're just because look at the NFC East. You got the Cowboys. So now as an Eagle fan, you just say, hey, we got to just beat the Cowboys. We'll beat the Giants. We'll beat
the Commanders.
Yeah, I didn't want to say. I was about to say Redskins.
Wait. Hold on a second. So let's take this like 30 seconds and everybody repeat after me because we got to get used to this. Washington Commanders.
Yes.
The Commandos.
Commanders, not Commandos. That's a different thing. Commanders.
So
they command to command.
What does that mascot even look like?
That is the dumbest name ever.
What do you think that mascot looks like?
He looks like a Trojan man.
But no,
Charles, you're off.
It's just one of those things, man. You traded for Minshew, but you was like, and we talked about it earlier in the year. We don't know what you're going to see out of Philly. You don't know what kind of offense that they're going to run and everything else. So they're probably going to. They drafted a receiver this year. They're probably going to either draft or sign a receiver out of the free agent and then just play. Let's go.
Would you
just give me a cheesesteak from Philly and I'm all set. I'm all for it.
To be honest, though, with you, Charles, like, what do you guys think? Do you think this is just to save space, and then just kind of see what happens with Deshaun Watson?
I have no idea. Because honestly, Deshaun is shoved up there tighter than somebody with a butt plug. It's like nobody's letting Deshaun come out of wherever they're hiding him. So
Right.
Somebody needs to find the key to the Buick or Cadillac that Deshaun's body is in and try to go ahead and open it up and get him out of there. Somebody save him.
Right.
Because apparently you haven't heard jack from this whole Deshaun situation.
He's in court.
In how long?
He's in court right now.
It's time to play.
I heard he's doing pretty good in court. I heard a lot of it's getting debunked.
The issue is not. A lot of them said he pretty much was going to pay a lot of them off.
He needs to play.
And then now it's getting to the point to where they're hearing is this a civil suit or is this criminal? So they're trying to figure all that stuff out right now.
It is just honestly a ridiculous situation. Deshaun has all this talent in the world. He can't show it off because, number one, Houston doesn't want to play him. They don't want to trade him. So it's like, what are you doing with this guy?
It's literally like a franchise tag. It's literally a franchise tag just without playing the guy.
Yeah. But if they go, listen, I don't think Deshaun's going to Philly. I don't think he's going anywhere. Honestly, where is he going to go? Nobody's talking anything. So what Philadelphia is, they can't sit around and wait for Deshaun to just fall down in their lap. What are you going to do? Offer the guy a 20 cheesesteak deal over 2 years? I don't know. But it's like you don't do that. You got to go and make moves. And if Houston ain't going to make a move, you got to go find another option. Go to option B, option C. The problem is I don't think Philadelphia has option B or C. I don't even think they have option A. That's my issue.
I agree.
All right. We got about 5 minutes to go. So real quickly, we're supposed to go through running backs and tight ends for the free agents, the top free agents that are out there. Both you pay attention. Last week, what we did basically is I labeled off like the top 5 or 10 free agents that are out there this year, taking a couple of them, seeing where they're going. For running backs, we got Leonard Fournette from Tampa, Melvin Gordon, Chase Edmonds out of Arizona, Cordell Patterson, running back, receiver, kick returner, whatever. James Conner, Raheem Mostert, J.D. McKissick, Sony Michel, Alex Collins, and David Johnson. Somebody getting honorable mention, Latavius Murray's in there. Boston Scott, Tevin Coleman. I don't even see Jordan Howard in there.
No one cares about Jordan Howard. I care about you, Jordan.
Yeah, well, you're the only one that does. Coach, out of the running backs, do you heard any of them you see may go to a better suitor, or do you see some of them staying where they're at?
Well, I think the Cardinals running backs going to stay where they're at.
Chase Edmonds. Okay. James Conner and Chase Edmonds, 2 of them are there.
Yes.
So which one do you see staying?
I think both of them because they both had their, that's where they had their shine at. I mean, James Conner was not wanted by anybody, and he came there and he did his thing. I think Fournette's going to probably make the best money because he showed this year that he can actually catch the ball in the backfield. So now he's a 3-down. He's more considered a 3-down back. And
so this is coming up party in Tampa.
I don't know if we're going to re-sign him.
Okay.
So I think he's going to be the most. He's going to make the most. out of everybody.
I see Sony, even though he played a limited backup role in LA, I think he still has a lot to prove. I think he should be a starter somewhere. And Mosher, I really hope he stays with the San Francisco because that's all he knows. That's all he really knows.
You say who?
Raheem Mosher.
Oh yeah, I know.
I think they can put anybody at because at one point in time, they was on a 5th string running back.
They had Elijah Mitchell was going lamb.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think anybody. One thing about it, the OC. Well, the head coach, he does a great job of putting people. Hell, they had Debo back there, like so.
That's true. They did.
So they're not going to pay. They're not going to pay the money for the running back.
Right. Yeah, he may end up going.
I think.
Mike, do you see anybody out of there? Those names that I listed going anywhere in particular, or
I have one specifically. I think Cordell Patterson in Kansas City on a cheap deal would be really interesting to me because Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Williams aren't good in the end zone, or in the red zone. Pardon me, and I think Cordell Patterson can bring you that versatility from either a wide receiver point of view or a running point of view, and what he did, kind of being a poor man's Deebo Samuel, you can get that on a relatively cheap deal to the point to where you can have this guy doing everything. And on top of that, you have Pringle, Kelsey, and then you look at, they could still bring in Juju or somebody like that if they want to on a cheap deal. Obviously you have Tyreek Hill another year. I think you could run it with Cordell Patterson in Kansas City.
And see, that goes back to one of those things. Who would you rather have? A receiver in Cordell or Leonard Fournette? At least Leonard Fournette's going to get you the tough yards.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette.
To me, it's Cordell. It's Cordell, though, because the big problem with Kansas City was, other than Tyreek, there wasn't nothing going on. But they couldn't get the two. Like I think you need a running back. You need someone to give you that 2 or 3 yards. You know what I mean? I think you could draft that, though. You could draft that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they tried. They failed twice.
All right. So let's go tight ends real quick. We only got like a minute to go. Gesicki, and this is by rank, by the way.
Yeah, as long as we want.
Gesicki, Schultz, Njoku, Gronk, Ertz, Uzama, Jared Cook, Evan Ingram, Max Williams, and OJ Howard. Those are the top 10. Hayden Hurst is in there. I think he's definitely going to go somewhere. Kyle Rudolph, old but still can play. Seals Jones from the Commanders. I like to see Gronk in Cincinnati. He's talked about it. I think Cincinnati needs to make it happen.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
I think Gronk is done. I think Gronk is in that Brady marriage.
Don't you think he would have said that by now, though?
No, he's still partying.
Gronk's still asleep.
He's got Cincinnati on one phone and Vince McMahon on the other phone. He's still decided.
Because if you really think about it, what does Gronk need now? How many Super Bowls he got?
And he saved his money. He pays himself out of his endorsements. His check goes in the bank.
He says his regular season checks, I just put them in the bank. Yeah. And he just live off his endorsements. So I really think that he's banged up and he wants to. I think he's not. Is he 30? He's just going to
30, 31. What about the top guy here, Gesicki from Miami? Do you think he goes anywhere or stays with Miami?
I think they want him to stay.
I think he's going to stay. He's going to stay with Miami. I like Dalton Schultz.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if the Cowboys.
Coach, I'm surprised you haven't said it though. I think OJ Howard gets a shot somewhere else. I really do. He's still a first-round pick. He's still, done productive things. I think he's just in the wrong place in the wrong scheme of things and to what they want with him. Like right now, a big consensus in Chicago is taking a chance on someone like OJ Howard. A lot of guys really are for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that he wasn't in the right system. I think the injury hurt him because he was actually like at the beginning of the season, he was eating before he got hurt. Like he was making catches last year. Then he got hurt. He tore his ACL, and it's kind of like you've been gone for a year and a half, and now you're coming back. It's like we put you in bits and pieces. But I like
it's the whole "what have you done for me lately" type thing.
Yeah, because I said it from the beginning. I said if you got Brian Leftwich to Jacksonville, that means you can go try to get the center from Tampa. That's a free agent. Get Godwin. That's a free agent. You could try to go get OJ Howard. That's a free agent. And now you got familiarity on both levels.
Byron's still there though, right? He didn't.
Yeah,
No,
Byron's still there.
Yeah, but I remember it was confirmed, and then the next morning I woke up and it was Nathaniel Hackett or some stupid. It was horrible.
No, that was back when Byron left, which was like this close to signing a contract. He literally had the pen in his hand. Then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, we're keeping this douchebag for a GM.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
So
anyway, final closing thoughts. We're out of here. Coach, go ahead. You're first.
Nah, man. It's great to see Mike. Biggest thing is, like I said earlier, I know a lot of people posting about these 40 times and it's like the 344-pound runs a 4.8, 4.84. Hey, that's all good, guys. He's not running that. We watched him in the NFC Championship. We watched him in the College Bowl. We watched him against Alabama. He was on the sideline a lot of times because he sure wasn't chasing 40 yards downfield to make a tackle. So I just want to say, like, man, you can teach and you can drop a 40 time. It's more so, can he play? Can they the receivers, can they get in and out of their breaks? Chris Olave, I like him. I think he's a great vertical guy. But that's it, man. Just don't live the hype of the 40s, in my opinion.
All right. Mike, your last words there?
Yeah, I just want to say I missed you guys. I was having a great break. I was just living myself and then hanging out with my niece and hanging out with my fellas, and it's been great. But I'm back on the horse. I've been studying all of these FLs that Charles has been asking me to study because I'm trying to get in tuned with that and talk about the Canadian Football League. We're going to be talking about that very soon. In like a month or less than a month, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm really excited about it. I'm happy to be back. I want everybody to know I'm still rocking with ASAP. There was a lot of people wondering what happened. I was just on a break. I was just tired, dude. Give me a minute.
Yeah, there was trade rumors here that you were asking for. You wanted to be, you were money minded. You were asking for this big time deal. You didn't care who you played for, and I think Freddie finally brought you in and got you that big time deal.
My agent told me not to disclose anything that happened and said that I was just partying.
Oh yeah, that's a non-disclosure agreement. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. We're out of here. We still miss Randy. Hopefully he gets we know what his internet's back up and running. He's just at a basketball game right now.
He's busy, man. He's doing dad things.
He's busy.
Hey, and you can hear about it on Same Dad, Different Ish on Randy's new podcast. Y'all got to check that out. It's about being a dad. It's pretty dope.
Mike, again, you already missed that. We done boasted that. Everybody's show.
You got to boast it every day.
Every show for the last 3 weeks.
You got to boast it every second of every day. Come on, coach. You better than this. Every second. Hey, matter of fact, Charles show.
You need. And by the way, yeah, that's next thing. I'm going to post to Freddie. Anybody want to join my regular show? I'm looking for another co-host. So.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I was meaning to talk to you, Charles. I was like, what's going on over there? But
take care, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday for more news and updates on the NFL, USFL, and much, much more. Take care, everybody.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.